Okay, we're back into our character puppet design for ZBrush, and I have Mr. Puss, the Platypus, and the character reference board in PureRef has been realigned, so I have my character reference board of the who, what, and style. I have the current diagrams, and we're at the foam build-up phase over the top of the aluminum armature. I have the costume design here. From the Bill Sykes character from, I believe it was Oliver Twist, to the other costume. The starts on the leather hat, some of the earlier build-up designs, it's just on the actual foam build-up stages. And the other notes. Also was taking apart the face. I think the face is what I want to focus on for this particular part because it is easier, in my opinion, to digitally sculpt parts of the face and the face features and then print them. So I have the brass stock and the heavy earth magnet, so I'm going to maybe touch on that a little bit, but I just wanted to maybe bring that up, so I'll put that right about yonder. Should be good, and then we'll switch back over to ZBrush, and I was playing around with it looks pretty damn funny so far, but just a reminder in ZBrush that the see-through bar is right up here on the top right corner. So if you just turn it just a tiny bit, like ZBrush has horrible clamping on the lower percentages. Like almost everything happens between 0 and 30%. It seems with most of their tools. You'll see there between like 30 and 80 is, the same thing with our brushes. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that for a minute. It's at 6% see-through, and when you go off of the main window canvas interface, it'll go back to being solid. And another reminder, delete undo history. Here's my bar right here. So you have all the stuff I was fighting with the ZSpheres here, trying to remember, like everything in ZBrush, the thousands or hundreds, if not 1,000 different shortcut key totals you have to memorize, which is the strength and weakness of the program. But anyway, that adds up. So I have my little delete undo history there to make sure it's a reasonable size. And now I can go back in here, and using the move brush, I can activate this. And it's between shift and alt really. So I think if I grab the circle here and grab the sphere itself, or maybe I think it's maybe the ones down here for the legs. There goes, that does alt, does the whole thing. And then if I grab shift, is that going to bring them up? Guess not. Okay, so I have to go down here to the ankles, grab that piece. I'm going to try alt at the shin. So that holds the shin bone in between there solid, lifts it up to the thigh, and then if I go down to the foot here, either one, the heel or the foot here, hold down alt. It's going to hold that solid and scrunch that up. Then I'm getting a little bit closer in the leg size here. And remember, F on the keyboard will full frame, just like most of your 3D software. And just trying to get the distance of the thigh here. And it's going to look really weird. The volumes on here don't work well for sizing, but the positioning of the joints does work well. So I'm trying to jump in here and get it into position. Okay, so I'm not worried about the volume just yet. I'm just trying to get the position right. And the biggest problem I'll have here so far is just getting a baseline on the head. So I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm just going to get it close and move on. And then there's the hand right there. And then the shoulder, get the center dot is different from the bigger dot. Does the whole thing with move. And if I get the center dot, you see it moves it while leaving the other one stationary. So center dot here. You go ahead and zoom in for a moment for you. Right here, so the outer circle of the sphere, if I click that, I'm in move tool, right? W. If I grab the outer sphere, it's going to move and leave the other point stationary. If I grab the center sphere, does that do anything different? Let's see. There it goes. Yeah, if I grab the center sphere, here it moves. Or I grab that one. Okay, so the same thing. I thought it maybe would do something different. Hold down Alt and move. There we go. Then it's going to grab that whole thing and move it. All right, if I hold down Shift and grab that whole thing, see that snaps it to the line. So there's some weird shortcut keys that I honestly am not that adept with anymore over the years, so I'm not going to get too caught up in that right at the moment until I get jamming and start making a bunch of stuff. So For right now, I just want everyone watching the video who's in the class to be able to make a fun character. So I think that's what I'm going to focus on right now. I'll go in here to the hand. So I'm just going to zoom in to the hand for a minute. And I will Alt-Tab over to Pure Ref. And just zoom in here for just a moment using my middle mouse drag, and then Alt-Tab back over to ZBrush. There we go. And probably a little easier if it's down a minute. So right about there, I think would be good. Yeah, that looks good. And now I can go in here and I can make sure the elbow's back, make sure the arm's back. It's looking pretty good. And remember, if I grab the bone here, it's going to rotate. If I hold down Alt, it's going to move the whole thing. So it is really bizarre. Once you make 10 or 20 of these, you'll be fine. But make a lot. Go fast. Don't try and make the perfect one the first time. That is a horrible way to learn any art form, any medium. So his palms are forward, and my drawing is really janky, so I'm not too pleased with that, but I'll just go in here and let's see, if I hold down, if I go to the end nub here and hold down Shift, I believe if I do that and click once, it's going to add another piece, but at the same size. I got to go back to Edit mode here and just make sure again that I have X is your symmetry. It should be defaulted on once you're working, but for some reason, I'm in ZBrush 2025, and there's times where I feel like it's not on by default, so I always double check. So hold down Shift and tap one time. It made a new piece that is also the same size. Oh man, edit, click, drag. No, I should be. Oh, I'm in Move still. I thought I was in Edit. Oh, Draw. Yeah, of course I'm in Edit mode. Draw mode though, specifically. And then we turn off this transparency and ghost thing. We turn off the floor, and I'm going to even turn off see-through for just a minute, just so I can see better, and click drag that out. Now, if I hit Shift and tap one time, there it goes. It makes a huge ball that was the same size as what the hell just happened. I don't even know. That's wild. Shift. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Draw mode. Q. Shift tap it made another one connected to the same bone above it and made it the same. So that's supposed to make it the duplicate size, but I'm trying to break it off of this one. I don't know why. Alt tap will delete. I'm just going to draw it on there and scale it myself. So I could do the bracket keys bigger and click drag. That makes it the size. So there's one finger. And as I draw, so that's the palms forward, right? Move, pull that out a little bit. And then that is even, makes sense even to have like small ones first. So just do this one. And then two. W, pull, and then back to draw, and whoops. Careful those little micro taps, so you'll have ZSpheres everywhere, and I've done it before. There we go, 1, 2, 3, and if I can get it over here to the side a little bit, palms forward, right? So thumb's gonna be on the outside over here. So I'm just gonna move these right now back a little bit out of the way. It's going to look really weird at first. And I did this on my other demo, and the hands were tiny because I'm zoomed in tight here. Whatever, don't even worry about that for right now. So there we go. So there's some fingers. Horrible start to the first finger. But I want to get the first ones in place first, right? And then I can always scale, click and drag up or down to make them bigger or smaller. So I want to give them little fat fingers. Maybe even the palm a little fatter. There we go. And then the thumbs out here. So palms forward, the thumbs always on the lower half of the forearm. So the palms are forward, it's going to be coming out the front over here. So go back to my draw tool, draw a onto the sphere for the thumb. Go back to W and pull that out. There we go. So that is pretty close. And you see my, yeah, what the hell did I do over here? Okay, we'll go draw, see if I can do this right. Alt tab to delete and delete, delete and delete. And I hope I got rid of all the weirdness that was in there. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, cool. All right, go back see-through, drop it back down to, again, less than 10%. You have to really hedge your bet there and get the arm roughly where it's posed correctly. Tab on the keyboard helps clear up some of the UI again. But yeah, there we go. So you can see here that the hand is still very much too small. So I'm going to go back to the palm here and just going to kind of get a little bit bigger, pull the thumb, go to move, pull the thumb knuckle, and then each of the first two knuckles on the hand. There we go. And it'll remember the last one you had selected. There we go. This one here. Go back to scale. Maybe bring that up. Scale up. Scale up. And there we go. All right. And then I can go away from the drawing a little bit. So I know the knuckles are always, I use the rule of halves. Like the middle knuckle's exactly halfway from the first knuckle to the tip of the finger. And the next one's exactly half again. So that's an easy rule to remember for me. So I can drop the transparency down for a minute and then go back to, hold tab, go back to draw mode. There we go. And we'll go another one and another one. And you see I'm kind of careful to be in the right position when I draw these. So I'm not trying to be careful too. And then I'll snap it here, go back to move, and we'll just pull 2 and 3 and go back to scale and push these up. Push these up and make them a little fatter. And then, oh, I missed the thumb. So back to draw, to the front over here, and click drag out, switch to W and pull that one. Positioning those a little bit more carefully. And I'm not very comfortable with this whole like grab the bone and rotate thing yet, but I think that's just me being rusty. So we'll just continue on here. I can drag that out and pull the tip out with move. There we go. So there's thumb. And so far we had just the 1, 2. Okay, yeah. So they want the middle one to be dominant, of course. And yeah, grabbing that center one moves it around. Grabbing the red one, we move it. So that's it. Lets you move it, but it swivels. And then if you grab the little middle one, then it lets you pivot. Okay, yeah. It's coming back to me, folks. I swear I've done this before. Yeah, welcome to ZBrush. Okay, click, drag across, grab that, go to move, pull, and bring down, and click, drag across. It looks like it just created a whole nother bone back at the base. No, I want to be on here. What the hell? Maybe it was at a bad draw angle there. Pull it out, and then grab the last one, click, and draw it on the tip there, and pull that one out as well. So very slight curve there is what I'm usually shooting for. So I'm going to pull that back a little, scale. Again, it doesn't do the E scale tool like all the other apps. It switched inverted the E and the R keys because they're different, just to be different. Isn't that great? There we go. And maybe, all right, cool. And then same thing on the knuckle. Don't want any like perfectly. Don't want cigar fingers. So make sure you give a little bit of a curl. 1, 2, and 2. That's the first knuckle. 1, 2. This is the other first one here. Okay, getting a little big, but I think that's gonna work out pretty well. And if it gets too close here, yeah, this one's a little bit big, so I'll go back to my scale tool in here and see if we could scale whole thing. Yeah, so scale, if you grab the point, it's going to do the whole thing a bit, so that works too well. Yeah, there we go. I'm a little more comfortable. Nice. Okay, that should be good. 1, 2, and I'm still missing a joint. 1, 2, 2. That's the palm technically coming from the wrist there. So we need that to be even shorter. So there's a way to insert them in here, and I honestly don't remember. So I'm just gonna do this the maybe slower way for right now and just manually bring these little nubs back. But I would like to insert one right there. Just there's a shortcut key, and as usual, I hold the insert key and click one time. No, that would make way too much sense. That's how it is in Maya. So I'm like trying to apply Maya logic to ZBrush. And that's the thing about ZBrush, there is no logic from other apps. It's its own strange little beast. So you just got to treat it as such. And whoops. Yeah. Getting happy with the hotkey. There we go. Grab up there and then grab up there. Go to move and pull the last little fingertip out. Pull and pull. There we go. And I wish there was a way to show all of them. I'm sure there is. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Go back to scale. Maybe scale up the nubs at the end again. The face is, oh, well, yeah, something happened bad to the face there. Maybe go back to move, Alt Tab now. Move, I done Alt Tab, no. There we go. So I got the nose there. It's like that. And then that was the beak. I had another one here. That was the other bottom part of the beak, and I had an extra one there. Let's see if that's changing a little bit. Go through and scale this one. Well, this one. Move, bring it down. It's way up high on the head, so I think for the head here, if I can scale it up quite a bit, there we go. That'll make the most sense. All right, cool. So yeah, see if I can bring this down again. Oh, I should have grabbed the stick. Right, there we go. The joint fins, 3D Studio, I've been doing this a long time. 3D Studio Max, Lightwave, exercise, like which application am I in again? Do you remember where I'm at? There we go. Back to move, and that should give me enough to do a bill on the beak. And then I had wanted to draw, I had an eye in here before, and then go back to move and bring it over like that, so that it actually is going to show through skull. Okay, so this should be fairly close, and you can see now how what I was talking about, the hands are pretty good size. So let's take a peek at that based on the drawing. So I'm going to go back over to PureRef and I'm get this kind of centered up again so that I can use it with center screen and ZBrush. And that should be good enough. There we go. And yeah, it's not too bad. Let's see if I go in here and scale the whole thing. That does work. And then I can move the whole thing, but with the in the center point now. Is it Alt? Alt. There we go. I had to grab one of the tips coming off the end of the hand. So this is the palm. This is the forearm here. And then from the wrist, I have the 3 fingers and the thumb. So any one of these 4, if I hold Alt, it's going to pull the whole thing out. So totally strange, but that's how they did it. So grab one of these, go down here, Alt, and it pulls the whole thing. There we go. All right, and then his head, let's see, is still kind of strange. So I'm going to hold down Alt, grab any of the pieces coming off there, and that pulls the whole head. And then switch to scale and scale I want to scale the whole head. So let's see if I scale. No, that's just holding Alt, just the skull. They hold Shift and do one of them. It's going to do just the end. If I do it down here at the neck, Shift, there it goes. It scales the whole thing. And then I can go back to move and grab this center here, hold down Alt, Shift. There it goes. Man, that is still, after all these years, it's still funky. There we go. All right, I'm pretty close. Whew, happy enough. Let's go down here and do some more scaling. So I'm going to go into here and we're going to scale up a little harder to see with that color. Let me turn off Polyframe 3D for a minute. And my hip is out here still. Voila. So let's grab this one and let's grab that and bring that in a little bit. Oops. This one, and that's going to be up in the hip region. Let's move that out of the way for a second. Yeah, that's going to be right about where the femur rotation is going to be. And I promise this gets faster, folks. So I'm kind of at a learning, teaching speed. This is almost better for everybody because then I'm not kind of blasting through full speed like I might normally do. Scale just the end piece up here. Let's see if I can get in at the heel. Where'd the heel go? Oh, I deleted it. But why is there a 1 on here and not the other? Damn. Doesn't make any sense. So let's go back to edit and Alt Tab. Shit. All right, well, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete the whole damn leg. I got no choice to turn off the symmetry key. I don't know how I must have turned off symmetry at one point and got asymmetrical. I don't remember doing that, but okay, cool. So now we will go back in here and we'll draw the hip socket back in. There we go. And that's probably good enough. Go underneath there and draw the lower leg and bring it down. You see I'm getting a little more accurate as I go now, so it's working pretty good. Okay, underneath. Zoom in again, go back to the draw tool. When they're stacked up like this is the problem. Like I'm trying to get it right in the center, but it easily grabs the stuff from behind, so it doesn't work that well. I kind of have to draw it first, then move it center, then bring it down. So, and again, it's probably just my rustiness, but bring down the foot. And I'm just going to do regular, well, I guess we'll do the ankle, kind of like how I like to do in Maya. And using snap, draw, and we'll come off the ankle for the front of the foot, and then bring that down to the ball of the foot. Scale that up. Go back and draw another one. So that's the ball of the foot, and then bring that forward for the tip of the toe. And we can scale that up as well. There we go. And then go to the back of the heel over here and draw that in. Go to the move brush and pull that down. And these hopefully are both flat. If I bring my floor back on, you can see from the side view, they should both be just touching the floor. My pivot's going to be there. It's going to give me ankle on the platform. Not exactly precise to, but yeah, not bad. There we go. And see now it's back a little ways. So see if I can do this right this time. So I can grab this whole thing here, hold down shift and bring the whole thing back. There it goes. Okay, yeah, that's a little better. And then, yeah, shift and bring the whole shoulders back. There we go. And then I can bring, here is the leg. And I can hold down shift, bring the whole thing forward a little bit, and then go to the foot down here, hold down shift and bring that whole thing back a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So really just trying to get a tiny, tiny bend in the knee, have that thigh, the S curve of the thigh still coming out there. So yeah, that's my ZSphere little platypus penguin guy. In the next video, we will do an adaptive skin and start sculpting on it. So in order to do that, I'm going to turn off my see-through mode for a minute because I think that's getting a little distracting as it flickers back and forth. I hit A on the keyboard and Shift F for polyframe, which is right here. Remember adaptive skin under the tool palette. It's way down here, the bottom, adaptive skin preview. I dropped the density to 1 and the dynamesh to 0. I want the lowest poly version possible to sculpt on. So yeah, I think that's going to work pretty good. Looks like maybe hit A again. Looks like the fingers got a little wacky over there. So I'll do a little bit of moving, just kind of finishing off maybe the position of the fingers from all angles, making sure that the curve of the fingers is what we want. So take your time here, especially when you're learning. No big rush. Yeah, see that's kind of going up. I want the fingers coming forward. That last knuckle, little really gentle, easy curve, right? That's what we're shooting for. Huh. Okay, so that looks better. Although, whoops, if I go to rotate, there we go. I haven't really used rotate too much. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah, the hands, all the little bones of the hand takes up a lot of time. All right, let's start sculpting this thing. This should be a lot of fun. Sculpt.